Much for being with us. What can you do if you have an issue with the IRS, the Veterans Administration, or Social Security?
Well, for many years, some 30 years, many of you have turned to Congressman Jimmy Duncan's office for help. Now, we heard from Duncan in the last hour as he prepares to leave office in the next few weeks.
Yeah, it is a time of transition as Duncan's 2nd District congressional seat will soon be held by Congressman-elect Tim Burchett. Our top story tonight, WATE 6 on Your Side reporter Blake Stevens meeting the people who have helped Duncan's constituents over the years. Blake joins us now in the studio, so tell us about some of those who work for our neighbors.
Yeah, hey Lori, they do something called constituent services at Duncan's office. Basically, it's where Duncan's staff acts as a middleman between you and the federal agency where you have an issue. The congressman is allowed up to 15 full-time and 2 part-time staff. We'll tell you about that here in a little bit.
Congressman Duncan's office. Okay, our staff member that handles the postal services is out of the office. So you can give a phone call back around 1:15 to 1:30.
Thousands of your calls coming here for 3 decades. Many of them going to Teresa McCullum.
It doesn't matter how big the problem is solved or gets solved or how tiny that problem might be. Everyone is always grateful.
McCullum taking your issues from Social Security and disability to problems with the VA to the right federal agency. After more than 20 years, she knows all the right people.
We know each other well, and we've gotten along really, really well throughout the years.
Congressman Jimmy Duncan's Chief of Staff, Bob Griffiths, retiring from the work of the people with the congressman at the end of the year.
We have dealt with everything you could think of and a lot of things you'd never dream of.
Serving alongside the congressman from day one 30 years ago, he's managed staff in Tennessee and D.C. He also advises the congressman on various legislation.
I'm very grateful to my staff for all the work that they've done.
His boss reflecting on the staff and the work they've done for the people in the 2nd District.
I always knew that being one of 435 in the House, I couldn't control U.S. foreign policy, for instance, but I could make a real difference in a lot of people's lives by helping with the problems that they call us or they write us about.
Duncan's replacement, former Knox County Mayor Tim Burchett, pledging constituent services will be a priority item for him, too.
Nobody did any better constituent service than the man that I'll be following soon, Congressman Duncan. He has really set the mark on fiscal conservatism and constituent service.
Congressman Duncan plans to teach some at the Lincoln Memorial University Duncan School of Law. He also says he plans to write a book about his career, just to recap some of it. Before his 30 years in Congress, he worked for 16 years as a lawyer and a judge. He's also, guys, he's excited about being able to spend more time with his 9 grandchildren. And to reiterate for our folks watching, Congressman-elect Tim Burchett says he sees the importance of constituent services, so you'll still have that resource available to you in Knoxville.
All right, Blake, thank you so much. And you know, this past election was the first time there wasn't a Duncan on the Republican ballot for Congress in our area in 54 years. So it is the end of an era.
Yeah, almost difficult to digest that fact. And we're going to hear more from Congressman Duncan, everyone, coming up as well.
Yes, he was packing up his office on one of his last trips to D.C. recently, reflecting on his time in Congress and talking about the legacy of that constituent service.
We get more mail and phone calls than almost any other member. We've been able to help thousands of people in thousands of different ways.
Worrying Duncan as he leaves office, the divided state of American politics and the growing national debt. But the congressman says he has faith in American ideals and the tide of history where, as he puts it, things have always gotten better.